Good evening and welcome to the cage match that is high school playoff basketball. I'm Steve Martinelli, and tonight the MG girls embark upon a journey in which will hopefully take them to Green Bay for the state tournament. First step in the way, the first hurdle, the Jefferson Eagles come into town, having won their first round playoff game against McFarland Tuesday night. Jefferson comes into the game. That win over McFarland put them over 500 for the first time for the season. 12-11. They are the epitome of a 500 team. At no point in the season did they win or lose more than 3 games in a row. They won by some big margins. They lost by some big margins. They have scored exactly the same number of points as their opponents. 1,090 points on offense, 1,090 on defense. This is an average team. Silver Eagles can't brag about having a 500 record. They're only 10-12 on the season, but this is a well-balanced Silver Eagle team. They got a couple of big players that score the majority of their points, Kelsey Stinson and Autumn Ogden, and they've got a lot of role players that come in off the bench, fill out the starting 5. They're a strong team, a deep team. Coach Nelson hasn't had a team this deep in recent years, and a big team too. Not a lot of individual height, but a lot of average height. They got a lot of girls 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". Jefferson, on the other hand, a very undersized team. They don't have a player on the roster taller than 5'8". One of those players, Callie Lintz, their leading scorer at 11.3 points a game. They've also got a couple other scorers to help Lintz. Brittany Fritz averaging 11 a game, and just under 11 a game is Macy Graf. Those 3 have led them in scoring every game of the season. Now at the Silver Eagles, it's usually Ogden or Stinson leading the way in scoring, but they've got a lot of different players that can score some points. Aside from those 2, other girls have gotten into double figures. Kaylee Hinson, Gabby Merrill, Maddie Knabel, Addie Gaber before she got hurt, Meg Sullivan, Sydney Grossman coming off the bench in that last home game, getting the start on senior night, racking up 12 points, so showing she can hit the three-pointer. This is a team of Eric Nelson's that isn't as reliant on their big 2 as they have been in the past. They got a lot of quality players, a lot of good depth on this team, and it's going to make for an interesting game tonight, especially given the size advantage that the Silver Eagles have. The boys ended their regular season on a sour note last night with a loss to Oregon Panthers, but they'll rebound quickly and play their first playoff game next Friday night. Hopefully the girls will win tonight. If they do, they will play the winner of Milton Fort Atkinson tomorrow night at a location to be determined. Heck, I hadn't even looked at the schedule. That'll be interesting. So, Milton and Fort Atkinson, both teams the Silver Eagles are familiar with, having played them in conference play. We'll talk about that some more later on. First, we got to get past the Jefferson Eagles. Regular Eagles, not Silver Eagles. They're just plain old Eagles. All right, player introductions coming up. First, for Coach Chris Zastro and the visiting Jefferson Eagles. Soon, I promise. Here we go. All right, for the Jefferson Eagles. Number 5, 5'8" junior, Callie Lindsay. Number 10, 5'6" senior, Brittany Fritz. Number 12, 5'4" freshman, Parker Featherston. Number 14, 5'7" junior, Andrea Kubicek. And number 22, 5'7" junior, Macy Graf. That's Lindsay, Fritz, Featherston, Kubicek, and Graf. And now, your Silver Eagles. Number 14, 5'10" junior, Autumn Ogden. I need that light on. Number 20, 5'10" junior, Kelsey Stinson. Number 22, 5'8" senior, Meg Sullivan. Number 25, Maddie Knabel, a 5'11" sophomore, and rounding out the starting 5, number 35, 5'9" junior, Kaylee Hinson. So for the Silver Eagles, Ogden, Stinson, Sullivan, Knabel, and Hinson. I mentioned the Silver Eagles having a decided height advantage. Every one of those girls, with the exception of Meg Sullivan, is taller than their counterpart on the other side. Meg Sullivan would be the tallest on the Jefferson roster. I'm curious who they have jump center. It appears like it'll be Lindsay, 5'8" junior, jumping against Maddie Knabel. Silver Eagles going from left to right. Eight minutes on the clock, and we're ready to go. Knabel easily controls the tip. This is Kaylee Hinson running the point for MG. Almost threw that away looking for Ogden. She tries to back in and gets it up top to Hinson. This is Kelsey Stinson. Cross court to Ogden. She'll drive the baseline. Looking for an outlet. There she finds Hinson into the lane. And a travel called on Kaylee Hinson. First possession ends without a shot for the Silver Eagles. Groff inbounding. This is Parker Featherston, the freshman, bringing it up quickly down court to Lindsay. Saves it from going out of bounds. This is Fritz. Scoops, no. Rebound Knabel. Almost walked with it. Hinson back down the floor in a hurry. Over to Ogden for three. Can't get it to drop. Featherston comes up with the rebound quickly ahead to Fritz. Miss. Rebound Stinson. Meg Sullivan on the run. Slapped away from behind. It's MG ball. A fast pace to start this game. I have a feeling both these teams like an up-tempo game, high-pressure defense. A lot of action so far in the first 54 seconds. Stinson inbounding for Monona Grove. Into Ogden. Wraparound pass to Stinson. 2 for Kelsey. And the Silver Eagles on the board. 2-0 MG. This is Groff. Almost walked with it. To Lindsay. And, she almost threw it away. Recovered by Kubicek. Into the double team. Featherston to Fritz. Fritz tries to scoop underneath and draws a foul. A 2-shot foul. Autumn Ogden called for the first foul of the game. And Brittany Fritz will go to the line. Fritz, an honorable mention all-conference pick last year. Misses her first free throw. She averaged almost 9 points a game, averaging 11, an even 11 this year. Missing the first free throw there. Second one coming up. Missed them both. Free throw shooting a weakness for this team as they've hit only 42% all season. Ogden into the lane, back to Stinson. She'll drive now, looking for some help. Into the corner to Meg Sullivan. Meg into the paint, tries to put one up, and she draws a foul. No! Called for the travel. 2-0 still, the Silver Eagles leading. We're almost 2 minutes into the game. Featherston bringing it up for the Eagles. Featherston, 5'4", averaging 4.5 points a game. Tipped away, stolen by Stinson. Kelsey in for the easy left-hand layup. Can't get it to drop, though. Sullivan with the follow in the basket. Meg Sullivan makes it a 4-0 game. Ooh, almost a foul there. Ogden was all over Fritz. This is Lindsay for three. Swish. 4-3. Lindsay, the leading three-point shooter on this team. The only girl on the team in double figures in threes. Hinson dish it back to Ogden there. Into the corner to Sullivan. Stinson for three. No. Rebound by Kaylee Hinson. Nice effort. Second chance for the Silver Eagles. This is Ogden. Dump it down to Knabel. No foul or no travel call. Rebound Ogden. Autumn Ogden for two. 6-3. The Silver Eagles up. 5:20 to play in the first quarter. Featherston to Groff to Fritz. Lindsay for three. Nope. Rebound Ogden. Ogden, the leading rebounder on the Silver Eagles this season, averaging a little over 5. She gets the easy layup there for two. 4 points for Autumn now. 8-3, the Silver Eagles lead the regular Eagles. Featherston working against Stinson. Stinson with a 6-inch height advantage. And Kubicek stepped on the line underneath the basket. Nope, we're going to get a foul against the Silver Eagles. Knable called for her first foul. She'll sit down. And 24 will come in. I should know this, Gabby Merrill, 5'8" junior. Featherston inbounding for Jefferson. Finds Lindsay and then throws it away. Expected Featherston to be standing there still because she threw it right back to the same spot and it went out of bounds. All right, now the Silver Eagles will be able to walk it up. There's no pressure by the Eagles. 4:45 to play, 8-3. The Silver Eagles out to the quick lead. Hinson over to Merrill. To Sullivan. There's Ogden for three. I was watching Autumn in the warm-ups, and her shot was dropping. She's got 7 points in the first quarter. It's an 11-3 MG lead. Lindsay going to the hoop, and a foul against Ogden, her second. So Autumn has 7 points. She'll probably take a seat pretty quick here. Third team foul. That sends Lindsay to the line for the first time. Lindsay with the lone three-pointer for Jefferson, their only points. Clangs that one off the front of the rim. Now Brianna Ling will come in for Autumn Ogden. Ling, the shortest player on the MG roster, 5'3". She would tower over a couple of the Eagles that they've got on the bench. Lindsay's second free throw attempt. Also no good. Rebound, Fritz, put back, no. We got a jump ball called. Actually, that was Ling and Carson Weber that got tied up on that one. I don't think there was a Jefferson player really involved in that one. So Jefferson's missed 4 straight free throws to open this game. Now Sullivan will sit down and Kelsey Stinson will come back in. What do we got underneath? They're going to get Weber for the foul. Yep, Carson Weber called for her first, the team fourth. So Silver Eagles racking up some fouls pretty quick here in the first 4 minutes. We'll try this again. They get it inside to Lindsay. No, tipped, out of bounds. It should be MG ball. Oh, bad call, ref. Fritz touched it last. Lindsay will inbound for the Eagles. They got nice looking uniforms. I like that with the. And Lindsay throws it off the back of a Silver Eagle and out of bounds. Kaylee Hinson credited for that knockdown. We'll call it a knockdown. So they'll inbound in front of the MG student section out to Featherston. Featherston to the free throw line, over to Fritz. Fritz harassed by Gabby Merrill. She gets it to Featherston. This is Lindsay. Featherston for three. No. Fritz got the rebound and taken down by Gabby Merrill. So the fifth MG foul. We still have 3:52 to play in the first quarter. They're racking them up pretty fast. Now Featherston will inbound. Gets it out to Lindsay. And a reach-in foul called on Merrill. Sixth team foul. Second foul on Gabby. Gabby will sit down, Maddie will come in. Over by the MG bench. Macy Graff will inbound. Graff hasn't had a look inside yet. Featherston. I only mentioned Graff because she averages almost 11 a game, one of their big scorers. Another foul. A 1-and-1 because we are in the bonus. They call this against Maddie. Yes, indeed, it is her second foul. So Knable, Merrill, and Ogden all with 2 fouls apiece. The Silver Eagles racking up 7 of them here in the first 4.5 minutes. 5 straight misses now. Kubicek missing that one. And knocked out of bounds by the Silver Eagles. And a timeout called? Yes, it is. Full timeout called by Chris Zastro, the coach of the Jefferson High Eagles. 3:32 to play, an 11-3 MG lead. I thought the Silver Eagles struggled at the free throw line this year because they've hit, where's the numbers? They're over 50%, 53.9%, let's call it 54%. Jefferson hitting just 42%. They're better from three-point range than they are from the free throw line. You know, their most productive free throw shooters, Lindsay and Fritz, aren't even hitting 36% of their free throws. And both of them are better than that from the three-point line. Don't ask me to explain that statistic. All right, well, this possession has taken on too much time. The Silver Eagles got to get the ball back. Jefferson has not only hung on to the ball a long time, they've racked up several MG fouls. They've been unable to convert at the free throw line, but this possession has taken up a lot of clock here. Let's get MG back on offense and a little more productive, scoring some points, hopefully. All right, Fritz inbounding for the Eagles. Into Lindsay, guarded by Kaylee Hinson. Groff. 3, Kaylee Morrison in the game now, almost stolen away. Oh, and Hinson ties her up. The hell ball goes to the Silver Eagles. Kaylee Morrison, a 5'6" freshman, so a couple of freshmen getting significant minutes here early in the game for MG. Several members of the boys basketball team here to support the girls team tonight. Hinson to Stinson. Kick it out. Oh, Carson Weber saves it from going out of bounds. Whips it over to Brianna Ling. Ling to Stinson. Stinson has it wrestled away by Lindsay. Ahead to Kubicek, slapped away by Ling. Good hustle by Brianna Ling. .259 to play in the first quarter. Up top, the other side of the court to Lindsay. Lindsay tries the layup from about 8 feet out, missed it. Ling with the rebound. Ling on the run. She'll pull up and give it over to Carson, into the corner to Hinson for 3, long. Ling wins the race for the rebound. She's really hustling out there. Hinson to Ling. Whoa, almost lost it with a big bounce. Hinson from the corner. Nope. Rebound to a foul underneath. Rebound by Natalie Mickelson. I didn't see Nat come into the game, but we're going to get a foul against the Eagles. Kaylee Morrison called for her first. Hinson to Stinson in the left corner. 3. Kelsey Stinson makes it a 14-3 lead. Quickly ahead to Lindsay. No. Rebound Kubicek. No, and Kubicek's fouled. And we'll go to the line for 2. Brianna Ling called for her first foul, the 8th team foul already. We still have 2:16 to play in the first quarter. Kubicek to the line where she's 0 for 1. 5 straight free throws missed by the Eagles. See if Kubicek breaks that stretch. Nope, she makes that one. That makes an 11-4 game. Stopping a Silver Eagle run of about 8 points, I think. Maybe not quite that much. All right, now Groff will come back in and somebody will sit down. Kubicek's second free throw is also good. 14-5. 2:10 to play in the first quarter. Interesting first quarter so far. Stinson for 3. Boom, baby. With Ogden on the bench, Kelsey Stinson picks it up with back-to-back threes. She has 8 points now. Under 2 minutes to play. It's a 17-5 first quarter lead for the Silver Eagles. Their defense has been stifling so far. This is Kubicek with the ball. Over to Morrison. To Lindsay. Guarded by Kaylee Hinson. Up top to Fritz. Morrison, no. Rebound. Groff for two, her first basket of the night. Macy Groff. 17-7. Hinson, a little left-hander, no. Rebound Kubicek. Out to Lindsay, to Fritz. Batted away by Stinson. She took that one right off her hand. She'll take it in for the layup and draw the foul. Nice play there by Kelsey Stinson to take that one away. Foul on Kaylee Lindsay, her first, just the second team foul on Jefferson. Sends Stinson to the line for two. There's the first one. Now Lexi Nelson and Sydney Grossman into the game. Coach Nelson getting all the girls in the lineup right off the bat. Just about the entire roster, I think. Stinson misses the second one, rebound Kubicek. 9 points for Stinson in this first quarter, and it's an 18-7 MG lead. This is Featherston. Batted away by Weber. Weber wins the race and will get called for the travel. Nope, she draws the foul. Oh, no. No. Fans not liking the call. I'm not sure. Macy Graff called for the foul. Nice hustle by Weber to get after that one. Sullivan, nope. Whistle and a foul. Second one called on Graff. Grossman, no. Rebound Weber. Kick it out to Stinson. She'll go into the lane. Right-hander scoop, no. Tipped out of bounds. It goes to the Eagles of Jefferson. .36 seconds left. It's an 18-7 MG lead as the first quarter is drawing to a close. Lindsay bringing it up, guarded by Lexi Nelson. Break the press inside to Kubicek, but thrown away, picked up by Meg Sullivan. Lexi Nelson now working against Fritz. 15 seconds. Stinson, under 10 seconds left. To Nelson. Oh, through the hands of Stinson, and she went over and back. So with 1.1 on the clock, Jefferson will have one last heave at the basket here. And, oh, not a bad toss. Lindsay getting it off the backboard at least, but the first quarter ends. The Silver Eagles leading the Jefferson Eagles 18-7. Boy, hectic start to this game, but the disturbing part, so many fouls on behalf of the Silver Eagles. 18 fouls in that first quarter to only 4 for Jefferson. Interesting first quarter. I didn't expect to see that at all. I mentioned Jefferson got here by beating McFarland 58-54. Lindsay led them in scoring that night with 24 points. Was that a season high? Let me find it here in a second. Lindsay, yes it was, 24 points. Earlier in the season they beat McFarland twice. Brittany Fritz in one of those games scored 27. Jefferson's plays in the same conference as McFarland's and has beaten them 3 times this year. All fairly close games, 41-40, 59-52, and 58-54. They had a game against Palmyra Eagle earlier this season that they won 45-14. Of course, they've been on the wrong side of a couple rough scores. Whitewater beat them 60-32 and 70-40. Whitewater, the undefeated team in their conference, 22-0. All right, second quarter underway. Sullivan, Hinson, Knebel, Ogden, and Stinson on the floor for the Silver Eagles. This is Lindsay for Jefferson, and I thought she walked there. Featherston to Kubicek, slapped away by Stinson. Excuse me, Sullivan. That dark hair fooled me. Hinson to Sullivan, into the lane. From the right side, no. Knebel fighting for the rebound. Sullivan picks it up, looking for Hinson. Now Lindsay picks it up, no foul called there. And a double dribble call. She never really controlled the ball very well. That was Graff on the miscue. Gabby Merrill will come in and Sullivan will sit down. 18-7. Silver Eagles with the lead in the first half. 7:15 to play in the first half. Hinson to Merrill, back to Hinson. Hinson spin move, 12-footer left hand hook. That's a sweet move. You don't see a lot of spin moves and a left hand hook like that in high school basketball. Almost a travel there. Now Graff picks up the ball, guarded by Autumn Ogden. Silver Eagles in a man-to-man. It's been pretty tough for the Eagles to get any decent shots. Fritz, no. Rebound Knebel. Fritz gets underneath the basket with the ball, but isn't strong enough to get a clean shot off. Autumn Ogden, no foul. Going back the other way to the Eagles. 20-7, our girls on top. Now Featherston will bring it up for Jefferson. Picked up by Gabby Merrill. This is Lindsay on the right side, looking inside for Fritz. Fritz goes down again. She's been knocked down a half a dozen times already. She draws the foul this time, and I think they're going to get Knebel for the... Well, Kelsey Stinson called for her first foul. That'll send Fritz to the line where she's 0 for 2. Missing that one, rebound Autumn Ogden. Ogden down the floor. Right side, left alone now. She gets into the lane, puts up the right-hander. No, tipped. Knebel going after that rebound. Now she's all over Fritz, excuse me. And now we got a 5-second call. No, a timeout called by the Eagles. (20-7). 6:09 to play. I mentioned Jefferson has given up the same number of points as they've scored this season, 1,090. That translates into just over 47 points a game. Not bad defense. The Silver Eagles, by comparison, give up an even 50 a game, but they managed to score 53. Pretty good margin for a team that's just under 500. Of course, this win tonight will put them one game under 500, should they win tonight. Be nice to win tonight and go on to face the winner of Milton versus Fort Atkinson tomorrow. Featherston bringing it up for Jefferson to Lindsay, right side. She beats Hinson, dump it down low, and a foul. And that's going to go against Gabby Merrill. Rose Kubicek in the game. That was younger sister Andrea Kubicek I mentioned earlier. Rose will go to the line and shoot 2. That's the third foul on Gabby Merrill, so she's going to take a seat for a while. Rose Kubicek hitting her first free throw. So the two Kubicek girls have 3 free throws between them. Now Merrill will sit down and Brianna Ling will come in. She misses that one. Rebound Ogden. Knebel, 8-footer, in and out. Rebound Lindsay. Stolen by Stinson to Ogden. Turnaround left-hander. 2 and the foul. Autumn Ogden with 9 points and a chance to add a 10th. Rose Kubicek called for her first foul, so free throw for Autumn Ogden coming right up her first trip to the line. There we go, making your free throws. 10 points for Ogden. 9 for Stinson. It's a 23-8 MG lead. 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. Kubicek to Featherston. And a timeout called by Jefferson. 5:21 to play in the first half, a 23-8 Silver Eagle lead. Their defense really doing the number tonight on Jefferson. And offense getting along quite well, thank you very much. All right, I mentioned the MG girls. Should they win this, we'll take on the winner of Milton versus Fort Atkinson. Let's see how we did against those two teams earlier this year. On December 12th, we beat Fort Atkinson 59-30. Then on January 22nd, we beat Milton, thrashed Milton 59-24. Came back 5 days later against Fort Atkinson down in Fort and beat them 51-26. And then, let's see, we should have another game against Milton on here. Oh, I missed a game, December 18th against Milton, 74-42. So we beat up on Milton and Fort Atkinson pretty handily all season. Milton finishing the season 9-13, Fort Atkinson 7-15. So I'm happy to take on either one of those. The Silver Eagles with a pretty favorable regional bracket. We got the #1 seed, and this could be the toughest game in it. All right, Jefferson will inbound in front of the MG student section. They get it into Lindsay. She dribbles off her foot. Kubicek for 2. Graf for 2. She has 4 points and leads Jefferson. It's 23-10 now. Ogden trying to go baseline, pulls back. Knable, nice turnaround move. Can't get it to drop though. Tipped by Stinson, tipped by Knable. Lindsay comes up with the ball for Jefferson. Quickly ahead to Fritz, knocked out of bounds by Kaylee Hinson. Good hustle by Kaylee. The Silver Eagle defense is really flying all over the floor tonight. Very aggressive. They're racking up some fouls. They've got 10 team fouls now, but also creating a lot of turnovers. They get it inside to Fritz. She muscles her way past Ling, gets it over to Featherston on the right side. Looking for some help. Lindsay saves it from an over and back. Back to Featherston, back to Lindsay, almost taken away by Ling. Featherston, she's been harassed by Stinson and Ogden tonight. Graf missing. Rebound Kubicek to Fritz, no, rebound Ogden. Autumn, quite the leaper. Ahead to Hinson. Kaylee lost the handle on it in the lane. Ahead to Graf, is she gonna get there in time? Yes. Oh, I thought Ogden was planted. That's going to be a 2-shot foul, the 3rd foul on Autumn Ogden. She'll have to come out, and Carson Weber will come in her place. Graf to the line, her first trip to the line. She has 4 points on the night and leads Jefferson in scoring. Boy, this is a really lousy free throw shooting team. Boy, 4 Silver Eagles coming in now. Everybody but Kelsey Stinson. Mickelson, Weber, Sullivan, and Nelson into the game. Almost like a line change. Coach Nelson did that a lot in that last game, last regular season game on senior night. Seniors got a lot of minutes on that night. That was fun. Second shot for Graf. She makes that one. She has 5 points. It's 23-11 with 4:12 to play in the first half. Carson Weber back to Lexi Nelson. A whistle blown. This will go against the Silver Eagles. Number 22, Meg Sullivan, called for her first foul, and that'll send Lindsay back to the line. Lindsay 1 out of 4 from the line. Perfect on that one. Now Stinson will sit down and Hinson comes in. Second free throw attempt for Callie Lindsay. Missing that one, rebound Hinson. MG down the floor in a hurry, and a timeout called. All for naught. All that rushing and nothing doing. 3:26 to play, a 25-13 MG lead. They jumped out to that big 18-7 lead in the first quarter, and they really haven't added on to it too much. It would have been nice to keep that sort of pressure on. It's all right. I'll take a 12-point lead at this juncture. Coach Eric Nelson looking for career win. Let me find it here. Let me find it. Don't say it. Don't say it. This will be career win 97 for him here at Monona Grove. One of the winningest coaches in MG girls history. Of course, the record holder, Ken Evenstead. I should look that up sometime. Evenstead's got a bucket full of wins. He was some coach. Couple state tournament teams. Sullivan to Nelson to Hinson. She'll stop and pop the three off the front of the rim. Rebound Weber. And she's, no, call for the double dribble. I thought she stepped on the line. Called for the double dribble instead, so it'll go to the Jefferson Eagles. Now the MG press will drop back a little bit. Mickelson will come up to pick up. Parker Featherston, the freshman. Lindsay, guarded by Hinson. Kubicek to Featherston to Lindsay in the left corner. She falls down on the three, can't get it. Weber with the rebound, on the run. Ahead to Lexi Nelson. Lexi can't save it from going out of bounds, and it's Jefferson ball. Knable coming into the game. She'll take Weber's spot. 2:44 to play in the first half, 25-13. MG girls with a fairly comfortable lead. Would be nice to add to that some before the half. Featherston bringing it up against Mickelson. Lindsay now against Sullivan. Graf at the free throw line, surrounded by Silver Eagles. She gets tied up, and the held ball goes to Monona Grove. Monona Grove just beating up on Jefferson here. I mean, physically playing them very tough. Girl gets the ball. If she doesn't get rid of it fast, she's surrounded by 2 or 3 Silver Eagles. Now Stinson will come in for Nelson. Fritz has been on the floor a handful of times, and Graf just took a rough tumble. Kaylee Hinson will walk it up for the Silver Eagles. Kelsey Stinson back to Hinson. See somebody else score a basket here. Let's get a basket for Knable. Mickelson to Stinson. Back to Hinson. She'll pull it back now. Now she'll take a drive into the lane. Floats one up there. Can't get it to go. Kubicek with the rebound, and she draws the foul. And we'll go back the other way and shoot a couple. Silver Eagles fouls continue to pile up. Kaylee Hinson called for her first foul. And Andrea Kubicek to the line. She's 2 out of 3 from the line. That one's off the front of the rim. Now Hinson will sit down, Nelson will come in. Kubicek, prior to tonight's game, she was 4 out of 14 from the free throw line. 2 for 4 tonight makes her 6 for 20. Yikes. Second one coming up. 6 for 21, that's even worse. Rebound MG, Lexi Nelson with the ball for the Silver Eagles, minute 50 to play. To Mickelson, to Stinson. Nelson, over to Mickelson. I'd like to see Natalie Mickelson shoot more. Stinson cross court to Sullivan. Meg in trouble, has it picked by Lindsay. Quickly ahead to number 12, Parker Featherston. She can't control it, it's MG ball. Now Featherston will sit down and Lowengas will come in. Lugas sure is a little player. Nelson bringing it up against her. Dump it over Knabel, 10-footer, 2 for Matt. Maddie's first points of the night. 27-13, ending a little bit of a drought there for the Silver Eagles. Luengas inside to Kubicek, back out to Lindsay for 3, short. Rebound Sullivan, wraparound pass to Nelson, back to Sullivan, and she'll bring it across the timeline. Under a minute to play in the first half. Nelson inside to Knabel, not going to get that one. Rebound Fritz. I think Fritz rebounded that with her face. Lindsay to Graf, wraparound pass right into the hands of Kelsey Stinson. 35 seconds left in the half. Now Kelsey Stinson will walk it up 30 seconds. Guarded by Fritz, over to Nelson. Back to Stinson. They'll work the clock a little here. Nelson looking inside from Knabel, out to Mickelson. Stinson top of the key, 15 seconds. She'll go in, lay one up with the right hand and in for 2. Kelsey Stinson with 11 points in the first half. 29-13, Fritz, no. Rebound Stinson, ahead to Nelson. Lexi from the free throw line, can't get it to go, partially blocked. We'll go to the locker room with a comfortable 29-13 lead. This is Silver Eagle basketball. Stick around for the exciting second half. I'm Steve Martinelli, you're not. Welcome back to Monona Grove High School as the Silver Eagle girls have jumped out to a halftime lead versus the Jefferson Eagles, 29-13 in this first game of the regionals. First game for the Silver Eagles anyway, second game for Jefferson. Jefferson, it appears, played their best game of the playoffs against McFarland Tuesday night as they're struggling against the Silver Eagles, trailing it by 16, 29-13. Let me run down some of the scoring in the first half for Jefferson. Their leading scorer, Callie Lintz, leading scorer on the season, averaging 11.3 a game. She's got 5 in the first half. Macy Graff has 5. Brittany Fritz, their second leading scorer on the team, who averages an even 11 points a game, has yet to score. They got 2 points out of Andrea Kubicek, 1 out of Rose Kubicek. A telling statistic, the Silver Eagles have committed a lot of fouls in this first half. Jefferson 6 out of 18 from the line. They're not a good free-throw shooting team normally. They've been dreadful tonight. Monona Grove, on the other hand, is doing a lot of good things. I've seen the girls play better, but they're looking pretty sharp tonight. Leading them in scoring in the first half, Kelsey Stinson with 11 points, including a couple of three-pointers. Autumn Ogden with 10 points, 2 apiece for Carson Weber, Meg Sullivan, Maddie Knabel, and Kaylee Hinson. Silver Eagles just 2 for 3 from the line. Like I mentioned, a lot of fouls on the Silver Eagles side of things. Gabby Merrill and Autumn Ogden each with 3 fouls. 2 for Maddie Knabel. So they're going to be playing a little tentatively in the second half, but hopefully it won't matter. It'd be nice if Autumn doesn't need to play much in the second half. Take her 11 points and sit down quietly. The rest of the team playing pretty darn well. Silver Eagles hit 3 three-pointers in the first half, 1 for the Jefferson Eagles. Jefferson graduated a couple good players last year. They had a couple players on this team, Callie Lindsay and Brittany Fritz, make honorable mention all-conference last year. But they graduated Katie Hine, an all-conference pick, averaging over 13 a game, and then Brianna Nelson was second-team all-conference at guard. They had a pretty decent team. I don't have their record. I couldn't pull that up from last year, but it seems to me they were a pretty decent team. A lot of returning players. You know, Lintz, Fritz, and Graf are all good scorers from last year, picking it up again this year. All right. Jefferson comes out with Featherston, Kubicek, and Graf, Fritz, and Lindsay. Their top 3 scorers for the Silver Eagles. Let's see who comes out on the floor here. Just about ready to go. It's Stinson, Sullivan, Ogden, Knabel, and Hinson. Our starting 5. This is a good 5-2, and what's encouraging is only Meg Sullivan is going to graduate from this bunch. The rest, juniors or sophomores. Knabel, the sophomore starter. This is Lindsay working against Hinson. Lindsay, I don't know who she was throwing that one to. Graf tried to save it from going out of bounds, but Lindsay just made a wild pass to the corner of the court and turning it over to the Silver Eagles. Hinson bringing it up for MG. Up top to Stinson, back to Hinson. Stinson finds her path blocked. We're going to get called for a travel. Yep, that was a good call. So both teams turning it over in the opening seconds of the second half. Parker Featherston will walk it up and get picked up by Meg Sullivan. Left side to Lindsay. She's looking for Kubicek. Kubicek into the lane, a little right-hander. No, rebound Knable. Outlet pass to Stinson, on the run, into the corner to Ogden. She'll go baseline now, put one up. No, tipped again, rebound Sullivan, and Sullivan is fouled. Lindsay called for her second foul. Now Weber will come in for Sullivan. I like the way Carson Weber plays. I wish she'd shoot a little more. Stinson inbounding to Ogden, a little too far under the basket to get a clean shot off. She's looking for some help. Whips it out to Stinson for three. Boom! Third three-pointer of the night for Kelsey Stinson. She has 47 on the season. Steal by Hinson. Ogden for three. No. Tipped. Out of bounds. Should be MG ball. Yes, it is. 32-13. They lead it with 6.5 to play in the third quarter. Callie Morrison will come in and Featherston will sit down. Knable from close range. Can't get it to go. Out of bounds. MG ball again. Knable's got to hit those. She's been a pretty good shooter all season. Let's see, hitting just over 60% of her shots, but she's missed a couple from close range she's really got to get. Out to Hinson now, top of the key, setting the MG offense. She'll drive into the lane, float one up, no. Knable with the rebound, the putback for two. 4 points for the 5 foot 11 inch sophomore. Lindsay to Morrison. Morrison better get rid of it soon. There she gets it over to Fritz. To Lindsay. Looking inside for Kubicek. No. Rebound Ogden had it taken away by Morrison. Then it gets tied up. We're going to get a held ball. No, we get a foul called inside. Knable called for her second foul. No, I'm sorry, that was Hinson called for her second foul. They inbounded to Morrison. Falling away, she misses that one, tipped. Fritz gets it back. Fritz can't get it, gets tied up with Carson Weber, and it's Jefferson ball. Nope, going back the other way to MG. See, Fritz just isn't very strong. She gets some nice shots underneath, but she doesn't have the strength to score against bigger players. Hinson will bring it up against the Jefferson Eagles. Hinson to Stinson, back to Hinson. Ogden into the lane and draws the foul. Autumn's got the right idea. They give you a lane, go for it, and draw the foul if nothing else. No, they're going to call a travel on Ogden. Now Featherston will come back in and Fritz will sit down. All right, MG turning on the press. 34-13, a comfortable 21-point lead. 5:17 to play in the third quarter. Featherston gets it across. Stolen by Stinson. Quickly ahead to Hinson. Kaylee up and in. 4 points for Kaylee Hinson. Featherston brings it back in a hurry. And a timeout called by Jefferson. 36-13 with exactly 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. You know, one thing that's been overlooked a lot in this latter part of the season was Addie Gaber's injury. She was injured in the third game, after the third game of the season. She was scoring almost 6 points a game, averaging 5 rebounds a game. She's been out with a knee injury most of the season. She's going to be back strong next year, just a sophomore. She's going to be a huge contributor. You know, we're losing Meg Sullivan, but Addie Gaber's going to step right in there. This is going to be a great team for the next 2 years. Mark my words. Monona Grove poised right now to go fairly deep into the playoffs, I think. Let's see, should they win this one and then beat the winner of Milton and Fort Atkinson, they'll take on, let's see, in the other bracket we've got number 1 Waterford playing number 5 Elkhorn, and number 2 Union Grove against number 3 Wilmot. I have to admit I don't know how any of those teams have done. Look and see if any of them were in the Rock Valley South. No, they were not. All right. Graf inbounding for Jefferson. Gets it into Featherston. To Lindsay. Back to Graf. Morrison from the elbow for 2. Her first field goal of the night. 36-15. Hinson to Ogden. Out to Stinson on top. Stinson into the lane. Oh, no travel called there. Suppose it was slapped away. Ogden for 3, off the front of the rim. Palmer saves it from going. No, she stepped on the line. It's Jefferson ball. Good hustle there by Carson Weber. Now Gabby Merrill will come in, and somebody's got to go out. Autumn Ogden will take a rest. MG with a full court press now. Graf to Featherston, they get it across. Stolen by Gabby Merrill, slapped away. Gabby recovers though. Out of bounds. What? I was going to say, the ref pointed the wrong way initially. Kelly Morrison took the ball and stepped out of bounds, and he signaled for Jefferson. Instead, it'll be MG ball under their own basket. Stinson inbounding. To Weber, to Hinson, back to Stinson for 3. Long. Rebound Merrill. Out to Hinson up top. She'll go into the lane, put up the 12-footer. No. Rebound Kubacek. Featherston ahead to Morrison. Morrison fouled from behind by Weber. She'll go to the line for 2. Third team foul against the Silver Eagles. Carson Weber's second personal foul. Morrison's first trip to the free throw line. The 5'6" freshman has 2 points already tonight, averaging 4.3 a game for Jefferson. Not even close on that one. Barely grazed the front of the rim. Now Nelson will come in for Kaylee Hinson. Callie Morrison's second one coming up. Clangs that one off, rebound Knable. They are a terrible free throw shooting team. I have to look at the next time out and see if we've seen anybody who shoots free throws worse than this. Weber, ugly right-hander, recovered by, I say recovered rather than rebounded by Kubacek. Featherston now working against Gabby Merrill. Merrill picks her pocket. Nelson on the floor, going hard after the ball. We're going to get a held ball here. Yes, it is, and it's going to go to the Jefferson Eagles. Like I said, the Silver Eagles really scrapping tonight, playing a physically tough game against Jefferson. Now, timeout called. Natalie Mickelson ready to come into the game for the Silver Eagles. All right, I was talking about poor free throw shooting teams that we've seen. Let's see, Fort Atkinson, one game shot 43%. Here we go, Baraboo shot 10 out of 30 against Monona Grove, only 33%. That's been the worst so far. Yeah, I've got Jefferson right now 6 out of 20, which is 30% on the night. Yeah, this is the worst free throw shooting night I've seen. Against McFarland, they weren't that bad. 21 out of 32. Really a nice job. Nowhere near that tonight. All right, Graf inbounding for the Eagles. To Lindsay, over to Kubicek. Out to Fritz, up top to Lindsay. Lindsay will step back now, guarded by Carson Weber. Now she'll drive the lane, put up the right-hander, no. Rebound. Autumn Ogden picks it up, ahead to Lexi Nelson. Lexi streaking down the lane, can't get it, and called for the charge. Come on! I disagree with that one. Lexi called for her second foul, team third. 2:46 to play in the third quarter. Brianna Ling ready to come in. Lexi will take a seat. No, Autumn Ogden will sit down. 36-15. 2:42 to play in the third quarter. Fritz working against Merrill, gives it to Graf, to Fritz, to Lintz. Knocked out of bounds by Carson Weber. And Carson does a nice job. Hustler on defense. Graf inbounding to Lindsay. She'll stop at the free throw line and pull back. Right side. Fritz inside for Graf, and Graf walked with it. All right, Kelsey Stinson coming in for whom? Carson Weber. Stinson hitting 47 three-pointers on the season, over 33%. Merrill inside to Stinson, almost lost it. Now she gets tied up, and the possession arrow goes to the Silver Eagles. No, a timeout called by MG. Coach Nelson getting that timeout in time before the held ball is called. So the Silver Eagles will still retain possession of that arrow. And the ball with 2:10 to play here in the third quarter. A 21-point lead, 36-15. They're on a 7-2 run in this quarter. Scoring pace has slowed considerably since that first quarter when MG scored 18 points, but the important thing is they managed to add on to that lead each quarter. That's the key. You got to win each quarter. If you win each quarter, you'll obviously win the game, but it makes it easier as the game wears on. All right, we've got Ling, Mickelson, Nelson, Merrill, and Stinson. Stinson inbounding. Up top to Nelson. I thought Nelson got robbed on that charge call. Nice spin move there. Oh, she was looking for Mickelson and threw it over her head. Had the right idea. Hinson will come in for Nelson. Coach and Father Eric Nelson not happy with that one, having words. Oh yeah, he's on her. All right, well, he's right. She threw away a bad one. Fritz almost lost it to Ling. And she's fouled now by Merrill. Gabby Merrill, that'll be her fourth foul. So Carson Weber will come in and take her place. (36-15) with 1:48 to play in the third quarter. Fritz. Fritz has been stymied the entire game. Kubicek gets it back to Morrison. Air ball. Rebound Kubicek. Another air ball. Tipped. Stinson just took it right out of the hands of Morrison. Or excuse me, out of Graff. Stinson's a strong player. I like that. Minute 25 to play. This is Hinson with the ball. Over to Weber to Stinson up top. Right elbow Weber. Lost the handle on it, slapped away, and we're going to get a foul called. Foul called on Lindsay, her third. Knable will come in for Mickelson. Mickelson's another one. I'd like to see her shoot more. Inbound to Kaylee Hinson. That's 3 fouls on Lindsay now. She's the only Jefferson player with that many. Ling whips the pass to Hinson, to Weber. Gets it right back and gives it over to Stinson. Hinson almost lost that one. Under a minute to play in the third. Hinson to Ling, to Stinson. Back to Ling. Ling's looking pretty good out there, really moving the ball well. Stinson to Hinson. 40 seconds left in the quarter. Hinson into the lane, dump it into Knable, and a foul called. Silver Eagles will get the ball under their own basket. I missed who it was. Number 3, Callie Morrison, called for her second foul. Long inbound to Kaylee Hinson of the Silver Eagles. They'll let the clock run down a little bit. We're down to 20 seconds. Hinson guarded by Fritz. Fritz has had a rough night. Not only has she been shut out, she's been knocked down a number of times. Stinson, 3 ball, short. Rare rebound by Fritz. Lindsay loses it. Stinson will let the clock expire, and the Silver Eagles at the end of 3 quarters lead it 36-15. Low scoring quarter there, but the Silver Eagles outscoring Jefferson 7-2. They now have a 21-point lead with just 8 minutes left in this game and look to be poised to move on to their second playoff game against the winner of Fort Atkinson and Milton. Let's look and see what individual performances we had against those two. In that first game against Fort Atkinson, Kelsey Stinson lit it up with 24 points, and then 29 a week later against Milton. So her back-to-back, or not back-to-back, Riverside was in between there, but back-to-back wins anyways. She had career highs, let's see, against Milton the second time. Autumn Ogden was high with 18 points. And then in the second game against Fort Atkinson, Kelsey Stinson with 21 points leading the way. So Kelsey having some big games against Milton and Fort Atkinson. And playing darn well tonight. I've got her for 14 points. Autumn Ogden still stuck on 14, and she's sitting with 3 fouls. She's on the floor now. Stinson, Hinson, Ogden, Knable, and Sullivan, the starting 5 out there. I assume we'll see them for a few minutes and then start subbing in. Hinson to Ogden, out to Stinson, back to Hinson. They're working that right side of the court pretty well now. Ogden into the lane, looking down low for Knable. Easy 2 from Mad Dog. She has 6 points. Lindsay into the lane, right-hander, no. Rebound Ogden, slapped away, recovered by Graff. She can't go anywhere with it. Give it off to Morrison. She lost the handle on the floor and loses it out of bounds. It's MG ball. 38-15 with 7:21 to play in the game. Monona Grove hoping to add a few more to this lead and then rest a few of the starters as they'll be needed tomorrow night. Stinson will bring it across for MG. Ogden Into the lane. Kick it over to Sullivan. Stinson now. Back to Hinson right side. Ogden to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to go baseline. Trying to wrap around, and she's fouled by Lindsay, her fourth. Callie Lindsay picking up her fourth team foul, most on the team. That's the fourth team foul. 4 fouls apiece in this half after a lot of fouls by MG in the first quarter. This is Hinson. Those fouls created a lot of turnovers, though. MG jumping out to that big halftime lead, adding on to it now here in the second half. Hinson, spin move. Ogden. Ooh, walked with it. Yep. 2 referees blew their whistle at the same time. We all saw it, didn't we, boys? Autumn had the right idea, just took that extra step in there. 6:37 to play, 38-15. Boy, the way the game started, I thought we were going to score 60 and hold them to about 30. Overestimated both. Kubicek for 2. And a timeout called by what's their names? Jefferson's. 4 points for Kubicek. (38-17). Comfortable 21-point lead with 6:16 to go in the game. I'm really confused by the seeding. Silver Eagles, despite having a worse record, got the #1 seed, and Jefferson a #4 behind Milton. Jefferson was 11-11 prior to their earlier game this week. Milton was 9-13. Fort Atkinson 7-15. They both got better seeds than Jefferson. In fact, Fort got a better seed than Milton, yet being 2 games worse in the standings. I don't understand how that works. But we're proving it tonight. MG a higher seed than Jefferson, no doubt about it, as they have led from the start. Five starters back out on the floor. I would guess we're going to see those girls for a few more minutes, then they're going to take a seat and let the bench take over. Stinson out to Ogden for 3. Little long. Rebound Sullivan. Back to Ogden. Inside to Knebel. Fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2. See who they get for this one. Kubicek. Her first. Knebel's first trip to the line. Maddie, a 500 free throw shooter on the season. Perfect on that one. Silver Eagles 3 out of 4 from the line. Let's make it 4 out of 5, Maddie. Yeah, nope. Rebound Ogden, and the putback for 2. It's all right if somebody misses. If somebody else is there to put it in, 12 points for Autumn Ogden. Down the floor in a hurry. Jefferson gets the shot off. MG knocks it out of bounds. 41-17. Not quite a thrashing, but a good thumping. Lindsay into the lane, right-hander, no. Rebound Knebel, jump ball, goes to Jefferson. The inbound to Groff. Looking for, who was that? Lindsay underneath, got the rebound and got it to drop in. Lindsay hasn't had a basket in a long time. She's got 7 points now. 41-19. Ogden to Sullivan, to Stinson, to Hinson. MG just eating some clock up here. Hinson to Stinson. Thought about the 3 cross-court pass to Ogden. Up top to Sullivan. Stolen away by Morrison, and she walked with it. Thank you. Yes, she tucked it under her arm and almost ran like it was a football. Now Gabby Merrill will come in, and Sullivan will sit down. Stinson inbounding to Merrill. She'll bring it across the timeline. Looking for Knebel. Underneath. Nowhere to go with it. Tries to back in. 3 seconds called on Knebel. Too much time in the lane. 4:52 to play in the game. Still a 41-19 lead. Silver Eagle defense really doing the job tonight. The offense is kind of quieted here some after that first quarter, but Fritz trying to go baseline, throws it away. I think she was trying to throw it off one of the Silver Eagles' legs and missed, just ended up throwing it out of bounds. Fritz has not had a good game at all tonight. 0 for 3 from the line, not a single point to her name. She's had more knockdowns than points. Guarding Hinson. This is Stinson into the lane, right-hand layup, no. Hit the underside of the rib there. Morrison. Knebel all over her. Loose ball. Foul called against the Silver Eagles. Against Autumn Ogden, her 4th? Yes, it is. So Stinson will sit down. Sullivan and Weber will come in. Ogden will sit down as well. I think that's the last we'll see for Ogden and Stinson, both of them having nice games tonight. Lindsay almost losing it from behind, now on the floor. Kubicek to Morrison. Out to Groff. Jefferson just kind of kicking it around now. Lindsay into the lane, right into the hands of Knebel. And Knebel draws the foul. I think that's Lindsay's 5th. Nope. Morrison called for her 3rd. Kubicek will sit down and Kubicek will come in. Merrill. Knebel, the miss. The putback by Merrill. No. Merrill with the rebound again. Merrill again. No. Rebound Lindsay. Ahead to Fritz. Fritz can't get a basket for nothing tonight. She misses the easy layup. 3.5 minutes to play. 41-19. MG still on top. They have led from start to finish. Both teams turned the ball over to start the game, but then MG took a lead that they have never relinquished. Hinson behind the back to Carson Weber. Into the lane, Carson tries to put it up and called for the palm. Can't carry it like that. Carson Weber, 5'9" sophomore. She's going to be a good one, though. Looking forward to seeing her play these next 2 years. Just over 3 minutes to play. Lindsay bringing it up for the Eagles. This is Fritz working against Meg Sullivan. Merrill with the steal and the basket. Gabby with 2 points. She's averaged 6 a game this season. Fritz for 3. There's her first basket. First points of the night for Brittany Fritz. She averages 11 a game. Will probably be all conference, but she's had a terrible night tonight. Makes it a 43-22 game. Gabby Merrill draws the foul, and I believe this sends us to the line as we are in the bonus. Foul on number 5. Is that her 5th? Yes, it is. Callie Lindsay will sit down. That ends her season. They'll bring in Lungas. Lindsay takes a seat with 7 points, leading scorer tonight. Now Stinson will come back in and Ogden in as well. That's kind of interesting. 2:26 to play and a 43-22 lead. Gabby Merrill to the line for 1-1. Gabby with 2 points after that last steal and layup. Missing it. Lewingas gets fouled by Hinson. Hinson was going to mug that little girl. That's the 6th foul, so both teams in the bonus for the rest of the game for the next 2:22. Rose Kubacheko inbound to Lewingas. And she'll walk it up, guarded by Meg Sullivan. Freshman against a senior. Morrison draws the foul. They're going to get Meg on that one. Nope. Kelsey Stinson called for her 2nd foul. That'll send Morrison to the line where she's 0 for 2. .2:11 to play. Short. Ball on the floor. Held ball. Silver Eagles possession. 2:08 to play. Bond 2:08. 43-22. Silver Eagles have hung around that 21-point lead most of the second half here. Merrill to Stinson. We're down to 2 minutes left in the game. Ogden back to Stinson. Hinson up top. She'll dribble left elbow. Stinson. Silver Eagles can afford just to let some time run off the clock. Merrill looking for Ogden. Kick it out to Hinson. Yeah, they're just eating some time here. Not really attacking. Hinson almost lost it. And what do we got? Foul called. Lewingas called for her 1st foul. Subs coming in now. Number 33, Maisie Wilharm, a 5'1" senior. Brianna Lingan for MG. Or she will be after Hinson shoots this free throw. Sydney Grossman in. Natalie Mickelson coming in. Ogden will take a seat. No, Ogden won't take a seat. Stinson will take a seat. And who's this coming in? Number 20 for Jefferson, Emily Truman, a freshman. Fairly tall freshman. I'd call her 5'8" maybe. Hinson's first trip to the line tonight. Can't get it to go. Rebound Ogden. She goes right back up and draws the foul. Brittany Fritz called for her 1st foul. Ogden to the line where she's 1 for 1. I've got Autumn for 12 points tonight. There's number 13. Silver Eagles shooting well from the free throw line tonight. Not great, but well. Hinson will sit down. Grossman, Ling, Mickelson, Sullivan, and Ogden on the floor. Lexi Nelson ready to come in for Autumn Ogden. Autumn with 14 now. So Ogden and Stinson, big nights for both of them. 45-22. Under a minute and a half to play. Lewingas to Fritz. Fritz almost dribbled herself out of bounds, partially blocked by Nelson. Kubachek with the rebound and miss. And Fritz holding the back of her head. She's got her hands on her knees now. She's a little shook up. She's had a rough night tonight. A trainer will come out and take a look at her. I didn't see what happened there, but she has had a tough time. She's been on the floor a number of times. She's a tough kid. Oh, now she staggers a little bit. I hope she's all right. This is not the way you want your season to end. So number 12 will come in her place. That's Parker Featherston. We haven't seen much of Parker in the second half. She is yet to score tonight after averaging 4.5 all season. Now, Ling will bring it up for the Silver Eagles, guarded by Luengas. The shortest player on either team. Over to Sullivan. Back to Ling, under a minute to play. Lexi Nelson with the ball. To Sullivan. Sullivan, dump it down low to Mickelson. 2 for Natalie Mickelson. They like to see that. Natalie's first basket of the night. Now the ball goes out of bounds to the Silver Eagles, and a couple more Jefferson players coming in. Paige Powell and Andrew Kubicek. Rose Kubicek and Maisie Wilharm will sit down. We'll call her Maisie. Playing her last game. She's a senior, so she will graduate. 30 seconds left. It's 47-22. Nelson to Ling. To Sullivan. Up top to Nelson. In the corner to Grossman. Up top to Nelson. Back to Grossman. Nelson to Sullivan. 15 seconds left. Sullivan inside to Mickelson again. Oh, in and out. Sullivan with the rebound, and she draws the foul and will go to the line for 1-and-1. No, I think she's going to get 2 here. They're going to say she was in the act, I believe. Luengas called for her second foul. That'll send Meg Sullivan, the senior, to the line. Meg with 2 points tonight, her first trip to the free throw line with 6 seconds remaining. Come on, Meg. 47-22. Let's add a couple here. I'm greedy. There we go. Perfect on that one. I've got the Silver Eagles 6 for 10 from the line tonight, unofficially. We'll take 6 for 10. Better than their normal percentage. Let's make 7 for 11. That's better. 49-22, last seconds here. Number 12 throws one up, and it goes in. That's Featherston, and that'll end it. The Silver Eagles advance in the regional play. 49-24, they beat the Jefferson Eagles. Good effort tonight by the MG girls, and they'll go on and face the winner, Fort Atkinson and Milton, tomorrow night. Don't know if that game's going to be here at Monona Grove or not. We'll have to see. Anyways, the boys will be back here Friday night. Be sure and tune in for that, or better yet, come on out and support them. This has been a Monona Grove Creative Video Club production. I'm Steve Martinelli. Thank you so much for watching. Again, the MG girls victorious over the Jefferson Eagles, 49-24. Good night.